Hi guys, I don't normally do videos like this. I think I did one a while ago for when they announced the Gremlins remake. But I was just like scrolling around the internet and I found a bit of news that just recently came out, I guess. Yeah, yesterday it came out. That New Line Cinema are going to be remaking A Nightmare on Elm Street again. Yeah, I thought it was fitting that I do a video about this because I've reviewed all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies twice. Actually, no, 3 times because I did 2 re-reviews. And I also did a Hollywood Beatdown episode on the remake because I still to this day think that the remake, the 2010 remake directed by Samuel Bayer, is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. So yeah, I wasn't really sure what to think when I saw that they were remaking it again. Here's the thing. Why are we remaking it so soon? I mean, it's been 5 years. 5 years and they're remaking it again. This isn't even like a reboot or anything, like a reboot for the franchise. It's a full-on remake. They're going back and redoing the same story and everything again. What is the point? The original one still holds up to this day. I think that is still a scary film. I still think it's something that people nowadays will enjoy, the younger horror movie audience that like things like, you know, Conjuring or whatever. I haven't seen it, but yeah, things like that. It's got lots of jump scares in it. It actually uses them effectively. It's a really well done movie, and the remake obviously wasn't, so I don't see the point in remaking it to begin with, and even remaking it again. There really is no point. If you really want to carry on the franchise, do a sequel. Otherwise, just let it die. Let it die! It's gone through enough. I just don't understand the point in remaking it a second time. I'm against remakes for the most part anyway. There are very few exceptions for remakes I actually enjoy. The only time I enjoy a remake is when either they do something new or if they do something completely different to the original and just use a couple of the original themes. Like the Evil Dead remake, say what you will about the film, it was different. It wasn't just a retread of the first film. They took elements like the Necronomicon and everything. They took the idea of the first film and they changed it around and updated it and made it new and fresh. Something that I really admired about that movie, but with this one I'm not really sure what they could do. The only way I actually would be on board with this film is if they don't remake the original movie like they did in 2010, where they have the Nancy character, they have the backstory about how Freddy Krueger used to be a child murderer, although they changed it in the remake to make him a person who molested children as well. I'm not going to get into the remake. The remake is terrible. You can watch my Hollywood Beatdown review. It's one of my most watched videos. They fucked up that movie so badly. I really don't see the point in doing it again. I really don't. Yeah, as I was about to say, the only way I think it could be done well is if they do something different. If they make it sort of like it could be a sequel to either franchise, where it could be a part, not franchise, but I mean, like it could be a part of the original series, or it could be a part of the remake series. The film is being written by David Leslie Johnson, who wrote the film Orphan, which I haven't seen, but I've heard good things about, and he's writing a lot of future films, including a new Dungeons and Dragons movie, because the last one was so good. Let the blood rain from the sky! He wrote Wrath of Titans, apparently. Wrath of Titans. That's not really a good thing to put on your resume. But he's writing the Conjuring sequel and a horror movie for Disney called Something Wicked This Way Comes. I just have a big problem with the whole idea of the film being remade again. Something I hate about movies is we've gone from films actually trying to be proper art and proper good movies and just being cash grabs, just being made just because they make money. The film industry has always been like that. Even in the 80s, slasher movies were huge. That's why, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street has 6 sequels. That's why Friday the 13th has 9 sequels, including Freddy vs. Jason afterwards. That's why a lot of those horror movies in the 80s had loads of sequels, because they were cheap to make and they made a lot of money. But the films before had some sort of originality in them. The people behind them actually seemed to care. Whereas nowadays they just don't care. They're just using all the codes and conventions in horror movies, everything that, you know, gets people into their seats, all the cheap thrills and stuff. Horror movies nowadays, a lot of them lack tension, lack atmosphere, they lack everything that used to make them good, and they're just nothing but jump scares and gore in some of them as well. They just don't care. They're just doing everything that, you know, they know sells tickets. They're not making a good movie. They're just making a badly written movie, just full of jump scares and no substance. I don't know if Ouija was popular, but Ouija is pretty much everything wrong with horror movies. Same with Annabelle. It has no substance, it's badly written, everything about it is not good. It just has jump scares, so people go in and think that it was a good horror movie because it made them jump. Which is why I have a problem with a lot of horror movies being made nowadays, especially movies in big franchises like this. If you want to make another movie, if you want to keep milking the franchise for all it's worth, make a sequel. It's not been that long. If it had been 15, 20 years since the last movie, maybe make a remake, yeah, but don't make a second remake 5 years after the last remake. It just doesn't make any sense. They haven't said anything about who's going to be directing it, so maybe if the writer turns in a good script and they get a good director, it could be a good movie. But the only way I think it could be any good is if they actually try to be something new and don't just do what the last movie did and just copy everything that had been done before in the franchise, especially the first one, and every once in a while throw in something slightly unique. There was like the micro-napping bit in the remake. That was sort of a good idea. The fact when the Nancy character is like really tired, she's like dozing in and out of consciousness, and Freddy Krueger's walking through the pharmacy or grocery store, wherever that was. That was a good scene. That was actually a good idea. But yeah, the problem with that was they only briefly used it and they didn't really use it to its full potential. It just seemed like a wasted scene. Hopefully they'll actually do something new. It won't feel like a remake, it'll just be another Nightmare on Elm Street movie. They also need to get someone good as Freddy Krueger. I actually did think that Jackie Earle Haley was a good choice, even if he did sound like Christian Bale's Batman and his face looked like a pizza. Yeah, he was a good choice, I guess. So maybe if they get a good person to fill the shoes of Freddy Krueger, it could be good. No one's going to be as good as Robert Englund, but I guess if they don't get someone who's terrible, it could be good. If it's original, it could be good, but sadly, I highly doubt it. Here's hoping that they don't make something terrible, but I'm not expecting much, to be honest, especially after the last remake. Halloween also has a new sequel coming out soon, and so does Friday the 13th, so best slasher movie franchises are still being dragged into the dirt. Yeah, what's your opinion on the subject, I guess? Do you think it's a stupid idea? I'd be surprised if you think it's a good idea to make a second remake 5 years after the last one, but yeah, thanks for watching, I guess. Put your opinion on the subject in the comments if you want, and yeah, I guess I'll see you next time, so thanks for watching.